First time of the year for Dane Swan, who survived his 40th celebrations, which went a month long.
I never turned 40 again.
That bad?
No, it was fun. I just putting a multi on the Dabble. It was awesome. I got the post-holiday blues now, though. Unfortunately, I need a holiday after my holiday because it wasn't really a holiday. It was
just partying.
I've seen and done some shit that 40-year-old men shouldn't have seen and done.
Partying is like your job.
Be nice,
isn't it?
Sam Wilder.
Yeah. You're kind of synonymous with your brand, isn't it? So you need to relax after your party.
You do. But no, it was good fun. I had a good crew there. Jakey was there, and
You broke him.
Yeah, no, mate, we had a ball. It's always good fun.
Jake can party, but there's definitely like levels to it, isn't there? There's there's Swanny level of partying, and then Jake's. I think he's a few rungs below that. Like he's not on that level.
See, I'm a once and done man. Like I'll come with you for the night. I'll crack on, but I'm not coming the next day.
I think it was more as well. Like my children and that weren't there, so it's like I think what a hangover is in like feeling shit. I think it's a mental stress you've got going on the next. That's why you feel bad. Like, fuck, I've got to go to work, or oh no, the kids are going to be up in 4 hours. But when you don't have any of that, mate, you're like, I've never felt freer.
Mate, 100%.
Mate, it's like
you don't get hangovers on holidays.
Exactly. And I was laying there, I was like, I tried to go to bed a couple of days in, and I was like, what the fuck am I doing? I was like, no. I've got 4 nights here. I'll deal with this. I'll just keep pushing it back. And when it came to an end, it came to an end pretty quickly. Oh, geez. That plane ride home was horrific. Like, I got back to LAX. We had a day use partner and kids were waiting for me, but we had booked a hotel for the day. So we had somewhere to go. And I was knackered, absolutely knackered. I was like, babe, I need to go to sleep, otherwise I'm going to be useless on this plane. And I was told pretty quickly that I would not be going to bed. Like, you got to deal with the children. And I was like, fuck, okay, but I'm going to be hopeless. So I snuck about 45 minutes in, and she's like, what are you doing? I was like, okay, sorry, mate. Taylor thinks I slept 12 hours on that flight on home from LA, but I didn't hardly slept at all. I just physically could not open my eyes.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm wide awake. I just can't open my eyes. And I was like in slow motion, like trying to hold a baby. So.
Head nods going.
Yeah. So it took a couple of days, but no, Vegas was great fun. Like, it's a perfect spot to either blow out and entertain yourself for the 40th. Mexico was great, but that was meant to be a more family-oriented sort of party. So birthday. So I told everyone, all my mates, or anyone who wanted to come, please bring your partners, girlfriends, wives, all of them together if they get along. Your children. So I think about 32 or something came over to Cabo. And
that's a good show.
Yeah, and 0 brought their kids, which I probably would have done. Yeah. They all like, why would I bring my kids on holiday? So they all come over for a bit of fun and just to enjoy themselves. And only a couple brought their partners. So that was bit bigger than I first planned too. I didn't get to breakfast any mornings. The last day I got to breakfast, when we were flying out to Vegas.
The free breakfast.
Yeah.
You would have been pumped flying out to Vegas, though.
Oh, mate.
You would have been like a kid at Christmas.
Yeah. But you can't act too happy.
Yeah.
You got to act a bit sad, like, damn, shall. See you, mate. I'm glad this spewing this is coming to an end.
I wish you could come.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Won't be the same.
Such a
I'm
shame
really gonna
that
miss
this
you
is
guys.
boys only.
Yeah. Damn. Really going to miss you guys. Exactly. Yeah. And back's turned, big grin like the Cheshire. Okay, like here we go.
And I should say the man with the fresh kicks as well, Jack Jenkins. Welcome. I'll finally get to introduce you as well. So.
Thank you. It's good. These are a gift from the Sydney Swans.
Were they?
Yeah. So
fresh haircut too.
Yep. Looking fresh.
Very good.
Lost a few kilos, best back training, so I just thought, why not freshen up the trim as well?
You still going to permit for if you fight?
No, I don't think so. I think by the time I fight, I'll cut it all off.
Really?
Yeah.
As in shaved or just like?
Probably like something similar to yours, just short back and sides.
Yeah.
The
Can't go wrong with that.
New Jack.
The perm, I originally I said I was gonna hold the perm after I got it done. I said until I have my debut in the UFC.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, well, I'm not going to not have it for me second. And then it was like, oh, well, I might as well keep it for me third. And then it just got to the point now where I'm like, I'm going to get rid of it, but I'll leave it long until I sort of start fight camp, and then I'll get rid of it.
Are you just on edge because you haven't fought it in ages? Well, it must be ages for you. Are you just like,
well, I
just toe as?
You beating people up in the gym?
Yeah, I just get carried away a bit at the gym. I like, yeah, I do get carried away for sure. Even this morning, like we were doing these drills, and I just took it a bit too much. Like you just not in like I don't get angry or anything. It's just like you just go, and like you get to this point. It sounds stupid, but like you get to this point where like every moment where your mind isn't occupied, you like start shadow boxing. So like if I don't physically have something that I have in front of me to do, like if I'm not on my phone or talking to someone or driving or something, all of a sudden I'm just like ripping the body. Like there's just something happening. And then you don't get that when you're training really hard, you're in fight camp and you've had a fight, you can put it away. It kind of leaves you. But then at the moment, it's just like non-stop.
Getting itchy.
Yeah, you
like
just
a junkie looking for his next hit.
100%, 100%. And you just constantly visualizing like, oh, I could hit this. Like I could hit this really well. I'm gonna smack this. It's just all the time.
Is it like one of those videos you see on TikTok where it's like you've got a younger brother and they're just like boxing?
Yeah,
it's just shadow boxing.
It's exactly that. Like my missus will be like standing there trying to talk to me about her day, and I'm just like visualizing like fucking bang. She's like, you're glazing over. You're not listening to me. And I'm like, oh, sorry. I was just visualizing like fucking.
I'll keep arms length. Just you want to swap spots with it?
No. Well, you're getting ready for a fight. It's probably worthwhile. You have a spar.
Yeah. You're having one of those. How much coin they paying you? Just give me like a. Like it's a good coin.
Yeah. I'll tell you when we're done.
Yeah. Oh, that's fucking sick.
We'll beep it out.
I'm glad that I've worked my whole life for fucking footy players to get paid more than me for boxing matches.
Well,
we can beep it out so you can tell them if you want.
I actually don't hate it at all. Like I think that like fighting's that one true thing where it's like people like to see people. Majority of people don't appreciate what we do for the art of it. Yeah. Like I'll watch a fight and I can appreciate like Sean O'Malley's like, oh, the distance control he has and the fakes he does. But 90% of what I enjoy goes over everyone's head. Yeah. And they like the 10%, which is the violence. Yeah. And the violence isn't like, we don't have a license. We don't have like copyright on violence just because we're the best at it.
Yeah.
The worst fighters in the world can be like really violent. Yeah. So when you get people like yourself, like celebrities and ex-athletes and other stuff from sports, like I want to watch you guys fight. The one caveat to that we'll say is fucking Cam Mooney and whoever the fuck he fought. I went to the boxing once.
Belchambers,
never fight again. Either of you don't ever fight again.
It's funny.
That's like most people though can have a crack, but that was hard to watch.
I mean, some of those YouTube things you just want to see a guy get knocked out, so you're like, that's why I'm watching it. But like, if then you watch the high level fight, like I watched it like ONE FC Haggerty versus Lobos the other day.
You ever told me you haven't watched like street fights on YouTube before? Yeah. Of course you have. Like those guys aren't
slice, mate. That's where it starts.
Like those guys aren't professionals. Those guys aren't setting up traps and fakes and all this sort of stuff. It's just good to see.
Just good brawlers.
Like if you could imagine they came out tomorrow. These guys don't need the money, so they would never do it. But like Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt, they're just going to have a scrap. As if you're not watching.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Hemsworth and fucking Captain America. They have like a proper MMA fight. You'd be like, yeah, I'll fucking watch this.
But didn't you...
Zuckerberg and Elon Musk, when they went to
didn't you crack about that?
Zuckerberg and Elon's a bit different because like they are... like physically inept. Like athletes, people who have a bit of athleticism is different. Yeah. Like Zuckerberg can't hurt someone. Like Elon Musk can't throw a punch. Like, come on, give me a spell. These guys like not in a negative way. They're tech nerds.
Yeah.
Like Zuckerberg
Would you take their level of skills in fighting to have their money?
Would I what?
Would you take their fighting attributes, but you could have their wealth?
Fucking oath.
Yeah, so you sack the fighting straight away. Be the nerdiest bloke on the planet. Fuck this.
You got $300 billion, but you can't fight.
Take UFC champ.
No. If you're saying like
$300 billion is pretty good.
I don't know I don't know if I would what I would trade right now.
Would you trade like UFC champ, like
If right now you can give me two pathways, and one is like you're a tech mogul who makes 300 million, or you 300 billion, or you go you're a UFC champ. I'd probably take UFC champ. I don't think
I'll be taking the billion.
No. Honestly, because I don't think I'd be that much happy. Because if I'm UFC champ, realistically, with my good looks, stuff like that, like I'm probably gonna leave with upwards of 10 mil.
Yeah.
And I don't think the difference between 10 mil and 300
mate.
makes that much difference.
Doesn't make that much difference. You seen pricing? How's that?
The price of housing. Jeez, I tell you what, you said you survived Mexico.
Oh,
I don't know if you
my brain hasn't.
I do understand what you're saying. But like, how much do you need? Like, you just.
What about a super
10
yacht?
million you can't retire. There's no way. 300.
That's so wrong.
No,
You
you can't.
absolutely can retire at
No,
10
you
mil.
can't. How expensive would the house be you buy?
I buy a $600,000 house.
Oh,
in
where you
Smash.
buying a 600?
Back of Smash. I was looking at one the other day.
That's not living.
All right, guys. Dane Swan officially lost touch with the common man.
But forever. Well, how old are you?
30.
30. Yeah, so say 35, you retire. That's, hopefully 50, 60 years. Like if you have
If I
kids and that, you
had
gotta pay
10
for
mil,
them.
I'm not saying I would never work again or anything, but if
That's
I had
100
10,
years at
if I had
100K
10
a
mil,
year.
if I had 10 mil, I promise you, I'm never wanting for another thing in my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
You say that until you get to the
I'd
10 mil like him
Yeah.
now.
Oh, well, I'd take it, but 300 billion, Jesus. Yeah, mate.
But also, like, you don't have to get
I
hurt
don't-
each time.
see,
Yeah.
You
I
just get-
reckon if I had 10 mil, my life would improve a lot, but I wouldn't have like the scabs all around you and stuff like that. Once you get 300 bill, you don't
Friends.
get anyone around you anymore who doesn't just fucking want something off you half the time.
But because if
You stay with your homies.
exactly,
I get that. But
family.
I don't know. You'd need fucking security 24 hours a day.
Oh, the house would be that big, mate. You'd be on a boat in the middle of the Mediterranean somewhere where they couldn't get you.
Super yacht, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? Just for a little bit.
I know. I think
Unbelievable. I hate thinking about it because I suddenly start to think maybe it could happen, but
Yeah.
like,
It's like that $200 million lotto ticket that
yeah,
just didn't come
exactly.
my way.
Yeah. Great fight card this weekend.
oh, mate.
Way better than 300, don't you
This
think?
is so much. 300 is the
300 's
biggest
sick.
fucking letdown.
Oh, I reckon it's
300
sick.
sick. Josh,
Not as good as this one.
you can tell he's not a massive UFC
Oh,
fan.
don't throw
You
out
can
the
tell
cat.
he's like a casual
Oh,
because he's like,
that's
300 's fucking
Yeah.
good. What's the best fight on 300?
It's more the consistency of like 300. Like every fight you sort of
Mate,
want to
this
watch
one's-
from
This
prelim.
one's massive.
This is
Yeah,
a
the
better
main card is, but like even the prelims on 300, you can't tell me aren't exciting
the
fights.
beautiful thing is everyone has their opinions.
Yeah.
This is an objective fact. 299 is better than 300.
Yeah.
Isn't
absolutely. Yeah, of course. Absolutely.
Is it the best card this year?
it? So far, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't know what could top it. Like if McGregor comes back, well, Adesanya Duplessis at the end.
Yeah. Well, like even the UFC have, without actually saying it, they're kind of being like, well, this isn't what we wanted. Because
Yeah.
pretty much everyone has come out and been like, I got offered 300, I got
Yeah.
offered 300, I got offered 300, I got offered 300. So their main event is like probably their 6th or 7th choice that they would have
Yeah.
had.
Oh, no, anytime Pereira fights, I'm pretty excited.
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
not saying
find,
it's not
I
a
don't
good
find
card,
him
but it's
exciting
not.
at light heavyweight. He's exciting at middleweight. At light heavyweight, he's not that exciting.
Just because
He's the ability to stone cold sleep people has gone down, as everyone does when you go up a weight class. That has gone down. His fights are a little bit scrappier. His chance of getting out wrestled goes up. Like Jamal and even his opponent Jamal Hill coming back, it's like it just doesn't excite me. Like,
Yeah.
it's like that one is purely opinion. Like
Yeah.
that's just, and I'm not alone in that. There's a
No.
lot of people who are like, it just has no feeling.
fair enough. I don't know. I think it's a pretty strong card. Like going through, and I can't wait to see Zhang again.
All right, let's go. Let's go.
Let's go
from,
299. Let's just start with 299, and then we'll.
Well, no, let's go from the bottom of 299. Let's just go main events.
Yeah.
From the five
got
fight pay per view. You start with the first fight on 299, and you give me 300, and we'll dissect them.
All right, here we go.
That I wish you saw.
UFC 299.
Chopping this.
No it.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right.
All right. First fight on 299.
From the main card?
Peter Yan and Song Yudong.
Petr Yan and Song Yudong. So Petr Yan, who arguably should still be bantamweight champion, who arguably beat Sean O'Malley, who has some of the best hands in MMA.
Flogged Sterling, but at the knee.
Yeah. And then he's fighting Song Yudong, who is a knockout machine, who brings in the Asian market. That fight is going to be hell for leather.
Explosive.
They are going to be fast, flowy, brilliant. 300? Alexander Rakic
Versus Yuri.
Versus who? Yuri.
Yeah.
Song Yudong, Peter Yan, way more exciting fight.
Okay.
Next.
Well, the next one's obviously we'd like that more. Gilbert Burns and Jack Della Maddalena.
Gilbert Burns, Jack Della Maddalena. What's yours?
Oliveira versus
Oliver versus
Armin?
Gamrot.
Yeah.
So it's Gamrot, isn't it?
Armin.
Sarukin.
Yeah,
Sarukin.
I always
Yep.
just go the first
So-
name. I can't pronounce the last one.
So
This is the casual coming
Jack-
out.
I know it. Armin. Yeah.
Jack Dalla on an absolute tear through the welterweight division steps up, and this is essentially a title eliminator fight. So we're gonna get if Jack wins, he'll get a title shot essentially. Gilbert Burns tucks his chin and throws, but he's an elite level grappler. And then we've got Rakic and Yuri.
No. Oliveira. And
Oliveira and Armin. Look, that's an interesting fight.
Oliveira's
but
sick.
I don't think it has title implications for them just yet, so it doesn't get me up and about that much. And I think I'm going to take the Jack fight. So we're 2 from 2 so far.
All right. Gaethje and Holloway.
Okay, that one's a very good fight.
that's
a sick fight.
The whole way too small.
Well,
pretty big.
He's put on a bit of size apparently, but it's one of these things. Like both of them get hit a lot. So if you like violence, you're going to like this fight. Whether Gaethje's leg kicks come into it or not, it's going to be the big thing. But if Max has put on enough size to be a true lightweight, then I think it'll go Max's way. But my thing is, if I was Max's manager or if I was even in the UFC, like executive committee, whoever running the show, I would be pulling Max out immediately. I'd be saying, fuck this, get out of this fight. Because the only reason he's gone up is because there was nothing for him to do at featherweight because Volk was there. Yeah. He was never going to get another shot at Volk while Volk was the champ. Pull Holloway out, Holloway versus Tapuria, while Volk heals up.
Yeah.
Right? That just makes sense, that fight.
Way more sense.
So
Otherwise, he's come back with a lot of damage.
Yeah, who has?
Otherwise, he's going to. Well, he's already taken a lot of damage.
Exactly.
Holloway, but like against Gage, he's going to be even more damage.
Stay at that weight class where the only guy who's been able to one up you in that weight class is Volk. Yeah. Volk's gone now for the time being. Go have a shot at Tapuria. Like the fight doesn't make much sense to me anymore now that Volk's not champ.
Oh, Kevin Holland and Michael Page.
Well, see that fight actually.
MVP's a bit old now. Come on, surely.
But his first fight.
Yeah, but it's his first fight in the UFC,
So
and I think stylistically, and from a betting point of view, we'll go into that in a little bit more detail later. But from a betting point of view, I think it's like the odds are pick 'em essentially. Like it's like $1.90, $1.90, and no. I think Kevin Holland's a bet there if you're allowed to bet.
Yeah. But I'll take the win there. Then we got Zhang. I'm just going to say Young.
Zhang Weili.
Zhang, yeah.
Zhang Weili.
Yeah. Weili Zhang. Yeah. Versus Yan Zhao Nan.
Yeah, and what do we got?
We got Poirier and Saint Benet.
Okay, yeah. Oh my God, what are we?
Mate, Zhang's a beast.
What are we?
What
are we?
You can't say she's not exciting to watch. All right, fair enough. I concede.
Yep.
And then Prairie Hill.
Yeah, Prairie Hill versus what do we got?
Vera.
Oh, O'Malley, the biggest.
But it's only because we get to see O'Malley. That's the only reason. Yeah, we only get, the fight itself, no good. Surely.
What fight?
O'Malley.
Well, he beat him last
How
time.
is that fight? Wait.
I'm just trying to fight Pereira.
How is
Pereira
that fight?
Hill's actually going to be
How is that fight going to be no
better
good?
fight.
Which part of the O'Malley Cheeto fight do you think is going to be no good?
I'm just saying that.
No.
300's got a
Give me
card.
some stats. How do you see the fight going that's going to make it boring?
He'll dance around. O'Malley just control the distance, wait for him to come in, bang, bang, bang.
So he'll get a highlight reel knockout.
Yeah, well,
But
over 3
Cheeto's
rounds.
never been finished.
Never been.
Well, there's always a first, isn't there?
Never been dropped.
Mate, you'd never been beaten until your last fight, you know?
Yeah.
It's words of wisdom right there. I've cut that up and put that on.
I'm just saying, there's always a chance, you know? It's what it is. All right, fair enough, I can see. But the main card, fine. But I reckon the consistency from prelim through. Holly Holmes is on there. Get to watch her again, which will be exciting.
So exciting. I am like literally thrilled.
You guys are
frothing.
Bo Nickel, can't wait to see him fight.
Bo Nickel is actually pretty exciting.
These fights last 40 seconds.
Jim Miller.
Who's he fighting, Bo?
Bo Nickel is Cody Brundage.
Never heard of him.
Oh, that's Cody. Didn't Cody just fight?
Like, when's he gonna start to fight someone good, or are they just sort of nursing him in?
Well, he's like his trajectory.
Is he ranked?
His trajectory isn't dissimilar to someone else in his position and record and stuff. It's just that he's such a big name.
Yeah.
Like, you're only expecting... It's the same as the Jake Paul thing. Everyone's like, when Jake Paul going to fight a real boxer or whatever?
Yeah.
It's like, boxers get fucking fed cans until they're 20-0.
Yeah.
Like, Bo Nichols only had, what, 3 or 4?
Five. Well, he's 5-0.
5-0 now. All right, well, he probably should be fighting a top 15 guy now, and he's not.
So after this one, you think?
So after this one, the thing is, he probably bypasses most of those fights from 15 to 5.
Just
like, it's
his
probably
wrestling's so
like
good as well.
It's probably like you win this, and then they'll give him a top 5 guy, and then he gets a title shot if he wins.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk about 299 because we're on the UFC at the moment, and we'll get your thoughts on some of the fights. And I know you can't bet, but we'll just get your thoughts on a couple. Dustin Poirier, this is a pretty interesting fight, I reckon, versus Dennis.
So Poirier versus Denis Saint-Benoit. The line on this fight is just outright disrespectful. So I think the bookies have Poirier as like a $2.20 underdog, if I'm right.
I think so.
Can you confirm
I
that for me?
can confirm it on Dabble.
I think he is the underdog. It's just
Poirier.
because he had that Denise had that.
On the under, Gamrot's fighting Dos Anjos on the undercard here. That's not a bad fight.
Yeah, it's a great fight.
Yeah,
Oh, stop playing up the
Pedro
299s,
Munez,
better. We get
Kusaliba,
lost
Michael
that
Pereira's fighting.
We just want you to
Macy
concede.
Barber, Curtis
just
Blade.
say I am a casual, and and that was a terrible call.
Curtis Blade.
Yeah, so Poirier's 260 at this stage,
But nice. So that's $1.50, yeah.
which seems a bit
And
outrageous.
it's a
doesn't it?
5-round fight too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this fight, Saint Benoit is coming off 5 finishes in a row, but the level of opponents he's fighting isn't anywhere in the stratosphere of what Poirier has fought for his last 15 fights.
Yeah.
Like, he's fought everyone. The only part, if you're looking for a chink in Poirier's armor, is that you go, well, Poirier is a little bit older now, and is he really excited for this fight? Because he's not getting like a Chandler McGregor fight. He's not getting the big money fight, and it's not a title. Is he going to be switched on for it? Poirier always fights well. He always gets right to the very top, and then he sort of stumbles at the last hurdle trying to get that belt. Like, this fight, I think I would have, if I was doing markets for this, I'd have Poirier as $1.60, $1.65 favorite. So to have him as a $2 plus underdog is crazy for me, and I think he should be favorite.
It's not bad. Yeah, it seems pretty outrageous. I guess because he's so exciting. I guess isn't he? That Saint Denis or
Yeah.
Yeah,
you said it a lot
but
better
it's
than
like
I do,
you see this all the time where these guys are like super exciting, and then they hit that new level. And some people go straight through it, and I'm willing to wear it on their head and go like, yeah, I was wrong there. But just on paper and on my gut feel about it, I think Poirier's a level above him.
Kevin Holland and MVP.
Right. So you've got
Holland
you
coming
got
off
to think.
a loss,
You got to
obviously,
think about
against
you got to think about the optics of this, right? So MVP, one of the biggest stars from outside of the UFC, gets signed to the UFC. There's 2 things that the UFC want to do. They either want to use the star power he already has and make him a bigger star and put their brand on him, or they want to prove that the best fighters are all in the UFC, so they want to get him beat straight away.
Yeah.
Which one of those do you think this is?
Get him beat.
I want to get him beat. They give him the style because he does really well with shorter guys that he can bully and do his funky stuff with.
Yeah.
Guys who are equally as long as him, big, lengthy strikers, he struggles with. So they've gone, Kevin Holland, perfect fight. Right? So they're trying to get him beat. So that tells you a little bit about like where they think he's at.
It's also a bit older, right? But
I think Kevin Holland.
Do you think there'd ever be a day where Dana White agrees to do like a UFC champions versus fucking rest of the world champions and just
like
go 1 for 1?
Like if the UFC, if the UFC
all
was
the fucking titles like
anywhere.
If the UFC was losing, like if it got to a point where they were on par with somebody else or heading in a downward trajectory, there's a chance they would do it. But as of right now, like they dominate the Western market and even majority of the Eastern market. There's just no need for it.
I guess the only thing I see is like Ferreira beats Ngannou. If he did, for instance, that's the only sort of fighter that's probably worthwhile to fight a heavyweight out of the UFC. But why would they do it to promote another league?
He's fine soon, isn't he?
And Garden fights this weekend too, I'm pretty sure.
Weekend,
Against
yeah.
Anthony Joshua.
Yeah, I know.
He looks so ripped,
fucking
man.
insane.
I know. Imagine if he wins that and he goes back and beats John Jones or something like that.
Yeah, like Joshua gets hit, so he could fucking sleep.
He's been rocked, man. He's been rocked a few times, and he's not that
It's a
fit.
fucking good, it's a good boxing fight.
Well, he
coming
can't
up,
go
eh?
back and fight
Zoom.
Jones because he signed with PFL.
Okay, yeah.
And he's on the board of PFL.
Oh.
Part of his agreement was he's on the board of this like fighter welfare committee. So he's like, I'm coming across to make sure fighters get paid.
Yeah.
And that's
Jake
really good
Paul
for the
bandwagon.
really good. Yeah, Jake
It's all
Paul's
round,
coming.
isn't it?
Really good for the like
Sport.
for fighters to be able to get more pay, because if there's a competitor out there, you actually have a market value.
Yeah.
Whereas right now, there's no market value outside of what the UFC sets for you.
One of the biggest names in Australian UFC, especially Jack Dalla, fighting
Yeah.
this weekend against Gilbert Burns. So if he fights and wins, he's in the top 5.
Yep. So I think
It's huge.
I think the money line on that fight is spot on. I think Jack Dalla should be about $1.65.
Yeah.
I think that's where he is. He's taller than Gilbert. He's got elite boxing. Gilbert's a little bit older now. Everything points towards Jack doing really well.
Can you beat Leon Edwards?
Jack?
Yeah.
Don't know. We'll find out. I think if anyone, his boxing is really, really good, and so's Leon. So it would be such a chess match. I think it would be one of those fights where they'd almost cancel each other out a little bit.
Yeah.
But Jack would force
keep
the
going.
contact, right? Like Leon would be happy to go backwards a little bit. Jack would come forwards. So it would kind of be a game of like who tags who first.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, but like, what's his groundwork like? Have you ever like rolled with him?
Jack?
Yeah.
Elite.
Elite? Yeah.
Yeah. If anything, like his scrambling is the most impressive. Like if you go back and watch his fight with Angelusa on his Contender Series debut, like his ability to scramble out of wrestles is really, really good, and then get straight back up in your face and box. That's what he does well.
Song Yudong.
Song Yudong and Peter Yan.
Yeah.
So I think this is a pick'em fight, and I'm happy again to go. I don't think Peter Yan's on the way down. I think on paper you might go, oh, he's had his time, he's kind of on the way down. But you look at those fights and you go, the first Aljo fight, then he probably beat Sandhagen, he probably beat O'Malley in their fight. Like he's been hard done by a couple of times, and I think Song Yudong, who will sit in the pocket with him and bang, really good fight for Peter Yan. I'm going to be with Peter.
So yeah, I think he's the slight favourite at the moment, sitting about $1.82.
Yeah.
Then Curtis Blades and Almeida.
This is the easiest bet on the bet on the card. If you're a punter, both similar records, like in terms of the opponents that they've beaten. Curtis Blades, really dominant top pressure wrestler. Almeida has never fought a really high level wrestler. I think this is a setup for Curtis to win and win easily. There's always a puncher's chance. Don't get me wrong. Jalton Almeida can hit him, but I think Curtis is a step above here.
Yeah. Did you copy those? You
no,
put that on. I'll copy off you. I'll copy off you.
He might be in our weekend multi. Like, the one we do at the end.
All right. Well, let's talk footy's back, which is pretty exciting. So this is your domain.
Yeah. Back last night. I'm excited. It's come around quick.
Yeah. What do you reckon about this round? We talked about this. You're pretty over it.
Well, I don't know. I thought they were meant to do this because they wanted to grow the game in Sydney when the NRL wasn't on, but the NRL's on.
Yeah.
So
when their Vegas games look pretty good too.
Because I heard the argument one way or the other, and the argument I heard on the radio was take advantage of the non-league weekend, and everybody's craving sport, so throw it there. But it's like, but the NRL's fucking back.
Exactly. So I imagine it should have been last weekend when the NRL was in Vegas. That's, I don't know. But listen, can't come at, like, I work at a gambling company, like, give me something to gamble on the weekends when the basketball's finished.
Yeah.
At night. So I'm looking forward to the footy. I think Melbourne runs off AFL.
Oh.
So
It's fucking, the city is just like so much better when the AFL.
Yeah, of
is
course.
For sure. The weekends are so sick. People walk to the
And
gym.
Thursday-
pubs are better. Watching the
Pubs
footy,
are
fights.
like living in this area too. Fuck, we are lucky. Like you just got good food, good pubs, or anywhere around you. It's just lucky as. The thing I love is the more Thursday night games this year, and if they get good viewership numbers and good attendance, they're going to stretch it out.
Makes you feel like the weekend's here a day earlier.
100%. Like you get this morning, I was at training, and you finish training, and instead of your Thursday vibe of like, oh, what are you doing?
exactly.
It's like fuck, footy tonight. I'll ring the boys, meet up with them. Fuck.
Yeah, watch it.
Get a multi going.
Yeah, exactly. Or
A couple of pints.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
all of a sudden it's Friday.
All of a sudden it's Monday. Like, what's happened? But yeah, can't wait, mate. Looking forward to getting back into it.
All right, so let's go. Lions versus the Blues.
Yeah. Lions versus the Blues. Like I said, the first couple of rounds it's hard because you're basically going off last year, and everyone predicts some. The top 8 never stays the same. Basically, I think. Yeah. Don't quote me on it, but like every year for however many for a very long time,
there's at least a change.
Yeah, there's at least one change. So, you're basically just going on gut feel at the moment. Yeah. Brisbane at home. Round 1, it could be hot. The ball's dewy up there, and I think Brisbane is a very good side, and they, they'll be hurting from the granny, but that doesn't really mean fuck all by come round 1. Like they're not running out there thinking, "Geez, we lost the granny. We got to show them this year." It's like that last year's over and done with. But I think Brisbane win. I think they probably win this easy, so I'm going to take Brisbane at the line.
Yep.
But what's the line?
22.5. I think it might be close, and I think Brisbane might just kick a few late and just win by 30 points, 35 points.
Yeah.
So it has to be under $10, doesn't it? Let's go to disposals.
Good to see you nice and prepared, Swanny.
Yeah. I'm busy, man, when I'm working. Oh, I'm just trying to do it on the live stream. Do it on the live stream. I'm going to take... Paddy Cripps going to have to do a lot of work in the midfield this week, just because
that's actually a good call.
Sam Walsh is out, so I think
they don't tag anymore either. So it's like, why would they
give him 25?
Yep.
So we got. Why can't I do Brisbane at the line in my same game multi?
Don't know. They can just build up the market, can't they? Anyway.
Pardon?
Are they just going to build the market for you?
Handicap points. They're going to break. So I'll do Brisbane at the line. I'm going to do Paddy Cripps to get 25.
Yeah.
We'll have Lachie Neale to get 25 too. I've heard an interview with him saying he was pretty disappointed about his final series, so he'll want to 2-time Brownlow medalist. He'll want to get off to a good start, so I'll take him. That's 575. And then we will take... Who's going to kick a couple of goals for us?
Do you think Carlton will have it down there at all, like that often?
I'm going to say Charlie Cameron to give us the kick 2 goals. Yeah. So that's $7.
And then what do you reckon about the Pies having to play Night at the G
at a ground for livestock? You know what? So I don't. All these clubs are starting to try and use Collingwood for like clickbait and that. Like GWS, their CEO or president, whoever it is, I'm sure he's a lovely man, but I'm sure he's a good guy, but he keeps coming out, we hate Collingwood, we do this. Like, Collingwood doesn't give a fuck about GWS. Yeah. Like, it's like, it's like, go away. Stop trying to talk to us. Like,
it's the same as like when anyone has any hype, all other fighters trying to call them out. Instead of creating their own hype and getting their own fan base, they see it as the easy way of like, I'll fight Swanee because then I'll get my name bigger. Yeah. It's the same thing. It's like, if we attach ourselves to Collingwood,
exactly,
and create a rivalry.
It's like the equivalent of some bloke on the prelims, I ain't even on the telly, comes out and goes, Conor McGregor, you're next.
Yeah.
It's like, mate, go away. Like, and I know they're trying to drive
Deporia called him out as well, which is
everyone, he's a big money fight, so everyone wants to fight him. But it's like I also like to at primary school, like the kid who likes the girl but obviously doesn't know how to talk, so he just picks on him.
Yeah.
It's like that. They want to be close to them, want to be with them, so the only way they know how to do is be mean to them.
Yeah.
You want to fucking be me.
So, but I don't understand why. I think the reigning premiers should probably unfurl the flag round 1 at the MCG in a big crowd. And you could probably get away with playing like a side with no supporters at round 1 because the Collingwood Army, there would be 90,000 to watch the flag unfurl.
Yeah.
So you could have probably put one of the sides that probably don't go, like the North or St Kildas or Dogs who probably don't
West Coast.
who have a heap of supporters, and you could unfurl the flag. You're still going to get 90, 100,000 there, but we'll go to Sydney, and I thought it was a practice match when I looked at 0R. I thought they were just practice matches, but I think we'll go there. We're plus 6.5, so very, very rare to have the Pies
that's
with a head start. So
GWS nearly rolled them in that. Well, we were in the box. I don't know if you remember it.
Yeah. They nearly did, but they didn't.
Yeah, that's
well,
true.
Collingwood won their 3 finals by a combined 12 points. But you know what? You don't get half a fucking premiership medallion because you only won by an average margin of 4 points a game. Yeah. You don't. So you look back in the history books and the Pies are premiers, even though Melbourne said they should have won the flag and everyone's complaining that they should have won the flag. But guess what? Collingwood have won it and they got beat by a point in the prelim the year before. So they've been the best side for the last 2 years. And it doesn't look like they're slowing down.
Which is exciting for you and
for the Pies. And it's great for football. Like, as much as we talk shit about Carlton and Essendon and Richmond are probably no good this year, but as much as I hate Carlton, and I like a lot of the players, but I'd love nothing more to have a Collingwood-Carlton grand final.
Oh, it'd be huge.
Mate, could you imagine Melbourne-Collingwood grand final? Collingwood-Carlton, Richmond and Essendon were in the prelims. You would not be able to move in this joint. Like, Melbourne would be...
Good luck in a park anywhere for the rest of the...
Melbourne would be electric for a month if the big four clubs were at their best and finished in the top 4. My goodness, it would be...
Unreal. Mate. All righty, we'll get you out of here. Thanks, Swanny.
Okay.
Jack, pleasure.
Thanks, mate.